Hey, my beautiful people. I got my cell phone back, so yeah, you already know when we're coming to when we get into class, we're gonna have a good time. Um, oh yeah. So I wanted to talk about something real quick. It just came upon my heart to talk about. It was it was about memory. So for one thing, I'm gonna just throw this tidbit out here, just 'cause I feel like saying it. So I feel like in INFJ, and if you don't know about MBTI, which is Myers-Briggs, like personality type, you probably took one test on like 16 personalities. If you don't know about MBTI, like INFJs, I feel like they created language. Because I was just thinking about this word remember, like remember. I don't think a lot of people actually think about where the words they use come from. They just kind of use it to get what they need done, but they don't really use it in a way to like actually understand what it means, like what they're saying, what they're saying means. But like remembering, like for me, like for someone who just like dissects every single thing that you hear, like remembering sounds like you're putting something back together again. Isn't that what a memory is? And the reason I said an INFJ had to come up with this is because if you don't believe in time, the only way you can come back to an experience is by putting that experience back together, right? That means the states that were in that experience, and experiences only really take place within a block of time, right? Or within a block of time space. That is to say, in 1995, I was born XYZ in the hospital room. What was happening outside that hospital room? Nobody knows. Right? So to remember something just means putting that experience back together again. And that is another sign that metaphysics is 100% real. Because when you're putting these things back together again, and I'm pretty sure a metaphysicist or like an alchemist came with that word remember, like that's seriously a powerful word. So, because what you're remembering, people think to remember something, it has to be something that you experience. That is false. Because again, if we're using the word in the definition as it is said, to remember is just to put something back together again, right? And if we're talking about time and timeless time, we're not talking about just putting it back together. We could be talking about creating it just in reverse, right? We're creating in reverse. That's kind of like what remembering is, creating in reverse, right? Because we experience a thing, and then we're using our knowledge of that thing and how it experienced to pull it apart and put it back together again. I really feel like a entirely new way of speaking is going to talk, because look how slowly I'm getting these messages across, very slow. A new entire way of just understanding the world needs to come across in order to take advantage of the new knowledge that we have, because yeah, you guys, how are you going to understand a time machine? You're literally going to get confused every time you interact with a time machine. How am I going back in time? While not understanding that you're not really going back in time, you're just remembering a situation, probably more physically, basically. So that goes to say, how do you get those energies back, right? We talk about entropy. How do you get energies back to the same place that they were? That's an interesting question. That's a very interesting question. I have my thoughts and ideas on it. I think that's where the realm of creativity comes in. And that's why it's so important to be a creative and a creator in whatever faculty and field you are. People think you have to be an artist to create. No, you can create relationships and bonds between people. That's what like love doctors do. You can create new methodologies for skincare. You can create a bunch of things. It doesn't mean being an artist. It just means creating. Sorry, my window's so loud, y'all. It just means creating a new way of life for somebody, creating a new way of perceiving the world for somebody. That is what a creator does. Putting people in into new paradigms where they no longer have to subscribe to ways of life that weren't important to them. And I guess that's what religion was trying to do in the past. but now we're, as creatives, we're saying let's create new paradigms of perceiving the world, right? Religion was a way of perceiving the world, perceiving gods, perceiving nature. But we're saying we understand nature in a scientific sense. Let's create a new paradigm for perceiving the world, including what we know, so that way we can come from where we're at right now and go on. Because a lot of the times, the problems that we face in the past, and I guess this is why it hurts so much. Because you really have to take all the tradition that you're like, all those things that you feel so attached to, like this stringed up together, like, oh, I'm in this jumbled up mess somewhere. If I like pull this apart, is it pulling me apart? You don't break. I love what Willow Smith said, where she says, you know, the heart is the only thing that can be broken and still be taught. So you don't break from removing yourself from the situations. You become stronger, as a matter of fact. Imagine how, you know, like when you're trying to break apart, like let's say you're trying to break apart a string, right? That string is made up of you know, hundreds of things. You can't break apart a string when it's at one point when it's just that thing that it is, right? You can't break it apart when it's just that thing that it is. So we're like, gotta come to that point where we are the things that we are. And yeah, we're talking about remembering here. So we gotta remember, right? We gotta remember who we are. That means going back in time, or going forward in time, and seeing what we can be, and seeing what we were, and seeing in the moment when we insert ourselves into our real lives, when we insert ourselves into our lives, all of ourselves, not just half, when we insert all of ourselves into our life, who we are and what thing that we become. I think that's just a beautiful prospect to have. Again, y'all, I'm gonna get back to y'all. we gonna have one more talk before we do metaphysics, okay? Because I want a smoke break before. I need a smoke break in real quick. All right, you guys. But yeah, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to y'all. Y'all are my new best friends. Like, I don't know how to, like, no codependency. Y'all are my new best friends because we're gonna work with each other here. Like, we're gonna work with each other. We're putting ourselves in a position where we must be codependent upon each other, because in order to be in a natural system, right? In order to play your part, you have to be in a system. That doesn't mean, I need to watch this video today, because that means if your spirit is putting you in a place to where you must watch that video, or your spirit is putting you in a place to where this video will be important for you, let it come to you, you know? Let it come to you. I hope you guys are doing awesome, seriously. I hope you guys are doing really awesome. We'll be back. We're gonna get hopping to metaphysics. Like I said, I'm gonna go grab some tree. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about all the good stuff. All right, you guys? Okay, I love you guys, and talk soon.